I have Dr. Sanjay Baru. He's the author of Accidental Prime Minister and political commentator and analyst. He was also media advisor in Dr. Manmohan Singh's PMO. Rashid Kidwai, author of 24 Akbar Road and someone who knows a lot of what is happening within the Congress. And PKD Nambiar, also another authority on the Congress and a political analyst.
Quite allergic to change.
Your first take, do you agree with the other panelists that the whole idea behind this hype and hoopla was to firmly cement Rahul Gandhi in place?
Absolutely. There is no doubt. And I agree with Dr. Baru and as well as Rashid Bhai completely. There is no change. So if you really look at this Chintan Shivir, one thing is clearly proved, Priyaji, that is times have changed, but not the Congress. So if you really look at the earlier two Chintan Shivirs, in 1974, there was a Chintan Shivir which happened in Naror of UP. Then in 1998, after the coronation of Sonia Gandhi, there was in Panchmadi in Madhya Pradesh. And this Chintan Shivir, was basically to ensure that Sonia Gandhi was strong and she is in the command. That was the 98th purpose. Now this one, as both Rashid Bhai and Dr. Baru said, this is basically to place a smooth way for Rahul Gandhi to become the president once again. The whole discussion in the last couple of months or in the years have been that there is a leadership crisis in Congress. And we were all looking at that, yes, this leadership crisis would have been discussed in detail. And we were thinking this, as you said, this G23 who was ready to go for a fight and become the real rebels, they all become like water cannons. They were not even able to play any major role in that particular place. And I was asking some of the Congress very senior leaders, including some of the spokespersons. I asked that, what is the takeaway and how was it? The answer was simply this. Yeah, the food was good. The networking was superb. And yeah, accommodation and hospitality was excellent. मैंने बोला कि यार कुछ तो politically कुछ अरे वो तो क्या बात करना है वो तो आपको सबको पता ही है. So this is the kind of communication if some people have taken away from that particular place. So that is not really good. And this was not really the need of the hour for the Congress. But unfortunately, Congress once again missed the bus. And it was, as Dr. Baru said, it's having a huge number of people from across all MPs, many MLAs, all the legislative leaders, so many of them. What kind of a Chintan Shivir? And you will also be surprised. There are some leaders who were put it on an economic discussion. They were not even known to the E of economy. So some people who were put it into some other kind of brainstorming session. So they were not even fit for that. So it was more of like an affair to say that we exist. And as everybody said, that it is basically a transition exercise. And with that, the Gandhi Parivar actually had really won this on this Chintan Shivir.
But Dr. Baru, what do you expect will happen from that?
Which is a very good idea. See, let me tell you that at least he has got an image of more of like a vacation politician or a tourist politician. He comes and goes. He's not a 24-hour politician. Maybe, if at all, if it happens, it might somewhere or the other way, at least can be in the news, can be in the mainline media, and also maybe able to inspire some amount of leadership in different places. So there are so many places in the country that even now, whether electorally Congress may be very weak or maybe done and dusted, but there are places where still they have some kind of a hold. So it might help. But just look at from this Chintan Shivir where we started. What was the actual expectation from this Chintan Shivir? One is a complete reform of Congress, which was absolutely in need. Even the G23 was talking. Second was all about discussing about the leadership thing. And the third was how do you win more and more elections? Imagine before 2024, the general election, there are 11 states are going to be on polls. So almost 1,300 plus legislative assemblies are will be contested. So do you have a plan? Is the Congress do have a plan? Congress is always known for a long-term plan. So we will do, even if the Padayatra, why is it in October? Why can't it be even in the next month or next to next month? Monsoon has already started. So the idea is that even in October, there may be like all the festival season. So the long-term plans without having any short-term goals is one of the weakest part of any leadership. So Congress in this whole exercise is once again has proved themselves that they are not meant for this generation's politics. always remember, even whether it is in business or in politics or in any aspect of life today, you always make a strategy looking at also your competitor, Priyaji. And today you have a competitor who is a full-time party workers, so dynamic. They are ready to work 24/7, and they are working 24/7. The JP Nadda, you may have seen him everywhere, in almost in every state, every second day. So he is inspiring people all across. Amit Shah, you will find him in the Northeast or in Assam or in West Bengal or all across. So the idea is that here is a party. You don't find the Congress leaders. And please note that how many second level of leaders who is inspirational figures Congress have today? No. One more thing which you only said, if you have one more minute for me, I'll tell you, the Congress in its constitution says that 53% of reservation, that is for 20% for the backward community and 33% for the women. Whether it is already embedded in the constitution or not, I don't know, but it was already been told multiple times. Even in this Chintan Shivir, they are again coming and saying 50%. They just imagine they are making their own themselves a fool in front of the public. At least the people who have like a Rashid Bhai or a Sanjay Baru may not be that experienced. The people who have studied about the Congress will say that already 53% was already been published by them multiple times. Today you are talking about 50%. So that means it's all just to talk.
So all rhetoric, Dr. Baru, at the end of the day, that's what they're planning to do.
There was a discussion. I was told that Ashok Gehlot will be maybe a potential presidential candidate and Sachin Pilot may be elevated to be the chief minister. But it was all just to create some kind of a news bites here and there. It was a very well clean, clear message, a well thought after program, wherein the whole purpose was to affirm that Rahul Gandhi is the leader, and nobody, I mean, whether it is Ghulam Nabi Azad or Kamal Nath or any Shashi Tharoor, none of these people could even make a voice against Gandhi or the leadership. So the idea is that even today, as we right now speak, Hardik Patel has resigned. So the idea is that every word, he was a good catch for the Congress because he was a bitter against the BJP, and he could get all the entire Patidar community together, led a big movement. But then could they help him? So what was even last week he was telling that, even if I wanted to speak to Rahul Gandhi, when will I speak? It may take many weeks or months for me to even get a conversation with him. So the leadership is the challenge, which none of these activities could make any impact. But as I said, any activity in Congress today makes some kind of an importance. The reason being, it was more of like a dead horse. Maybe even if it is trying to get up, we should all support. I always quote Nitin Gadkari that I think it is important to have a strong Congress in this country. It is important even for the BJP to stay in power. Because and also, Priyaji, one thing you need to understand that where is Congress, Congress fighting against? Most of the places, not just with the BJP, it is with the congressmen. Whether it is Sharad Pawar, whether it is Mamta, whether it is KCR, whether it is Jagan Mohan Reddy, or many of these people with the Congress is fighting today is with the congressmen. So from last 84 onwards, Congress is in its diminishing stage. The only thing is that Rahul Gandhi had to come to put the last nail, and which he is very good at it, doing it very well.
Well, but Dr. Baru, one quick point also.